Welcome to another English Sparkling with Tweedy, and the first of 2026. I'm on the Wiston mailing list. Wiston, that Sussex-based producer, and they sent an email the other day where they were offering 3 of their 2018 vintage wines at a discount over the normal price, but the normal price is also a little bit steep. So I think it worked out at £140 for 3 bottles. There was a Blanc de Noir, which I actually have tasted previously, the Rosé and the Blanc de Blanc, which we're going to be tasting today, all 3 from 2018, all single vintage wines from 2018. Unlike Burgundy, where 2018 was actually a bit of a bad year, it was too hot. That extra heat that we had here in England was a real boon. Was it the largest crop to date? I haven't really been keeping tabs on the last couple of vintages. I don't know if there's much useful blurb on the back. There's some tasting notes here. Intense nougat and lemon zest on the nose with ripe green gauge and pastry flavours on the palate. There's a bit of oak and stainless steel maturation. It is a pretty cold day. I think the air temperature is something like 3 degrees. Which, as I probably always say, has the benefit that this is going to stay chilled without too much problem. But also so am I. So how long I'm actually going to be able to sit here for, we'll have to see. But, I don't feel too bad at the moment. It's always a little bit warmer in the woods, happily. A bit sheltered from the wind and all of that. Sorry, doing this off camera because I had a feeling it might... No, it's not going to. I thought that might possibly overspill, whatever the word is, as they sometimes do. So that is what we have, a nice pale gold, as you'd expect for a Blanc de Blanc, 100% Chardonnay. Decent bit of mousse there as well. Nice stream of very fine bubbles. I rather wish I hadn't read those tasting notes now, because that is going to psychologically influence me, isn't it? Particularly interested about that nougat note. I sort of see what they're getting at there. There is something slightly sweet smelling and slightly nutty there on the nose, but definitely also lemony aromas. Lemon rind, I think, but in quite a sweet way, quite a nice, well, not overtly sweet, not overly sweet, but a hint of sweetness to something like lemon rind. There's some hint of something a bit more kind of aromatic, botanical possibly beyond that. Maybe a tiny hint of something like lemon grass, possibly. It's within the ballpark of citrusy type things, but it's a little bit more, tiny bit more exotic, aromatic. That is a nice nose. I haven't given that a swirl yet either, and getting a lovely, slightly sweet, quite aromatic, citrusy expression there. Possibly those nougat. I definitely would not have guessed that by myself had that thought not been put into my mind. I'll be honest about that up front. But I do see what they mean about something slightly hazelnutty, or what is the nut component of nougat? I forget. Something like that, some sort of slight sweet nutty sort of aspect to it. Yeah, more lemon, more sort of gentle aromatics. Really nice. It's much more lemon than apple, I think, as well. Chardonnay in England seems to go one of those two ways, in English sparkling at least. It's either going to be lemony or appley in terms of fruit expression. This seems to be leaning more on the lemons, I think. On the palate, nice bit of zing, lovely, precise, to the point lemoniness there, really quite mouth-watering. A very pleasant, I suppose slightly mineral sensation on the palate, but a really nice tingly sensation across the tongue there. What did it say on the palate on the back there? Was it talking about green gauges? They're effectively plums, aren't they? It's like that, a greenish plum. A hint of that. I don't know. Maybe very slight hint of something like gooseberry. There's a little bit more fruit character over and above the lemon. Would I characterise that as green gauges? Maybe not. But the lemoniness there, the lemon character, really nicely expressed. Lovely mouthfeel, really elegant, but also quite zingy, quite attention-grabbing in a way. Not teeth setting on edge sort of levels of acidity, but quite a nice balance actually of something that's ooh rather than ooh, if that makes sense. Nice and dry. I'm assuming this is relatively low dosage. I don't know if it says anything on the back about that. There might be some technical information on the website if I can be bothered to look that up, but it's quite dry. There isn't a huge amount of any sweet component apart from that subtle nuance of nougat on the if that's really what it is, on the nose. Palate is really sort of dry in a sophisticated way, but not lacking in fruit expression. I think that's really nice. I might sit here and mull that over for a little while, so if I have any further thoughts later, I'll perhaps come back to you. But first impressions, really lovely, very elegant, crisp, zingy, mineral, nicely fruity. A very sophisticated execution of an English Blanc de Blanc. Cheers.